Hey guys, welcome to Tracie's Place. It is Marriage Monday, and I'm excited to bring you the marriage check in. This is something that I have not seen a lot of places. I haven't heard too many people even talk about it. I've heard about it on like one or two radio talk shows, but I wanted to bring it to you because I don't see it anywhere on YouTube. But anyway, it is the marriage check in. And I just came up with some questions on my own because these are typically some things that people run into over the course of their marriage. Just questions and insecurities, or, some spouses, the communication is not great. So, this is a great way to get the communication flowing and to get things, moving again if they have stopped somewhat. So, it would be great to do like a mini date night at home if you could. I mean, you could go to a restaurant and get a little secluded, table or whatever, but it would be great to do at home with a like a puzzle night. If you put on some jazz music or some love songs or something, get the atmosphere kind of going, and do a puzzle together. Do a puzzle together and listen to some music and get some little finger foods or whatever around, and enjoy your time together answering these questions. Now, sometimes, depending on, the climate of your relationship, one or the other can catch offense, unfortunately, and your spouse. So for either one, whether it's male or female that's watching, the husband or the wife, this is for married couples. So be careful when presenting this to your spouse, that you're creating a nice atmosphere, and kind of remind them too, this is supposed to be a good time for the two of you to kind of get even reacclimated. Some people are living together, they're doing things and going here and blah blah blah, but sometimes the acquaintedness gets interrupted by the busyness of everyday life. So this is a way to get reacclimated, and this is not a time for little arguments and spats. If something arises, quickly quiet it down and get back to a nice little atmosphere. All right, so here we go. The first question is, whether if you're male or female, you ask your husband or your wife, how do you feel that I'm doing in my job as a husband or as a wife? Do you feel that there's a lot left to be desired? Are you seeing too much of things that I am not doing that or think that I should be doing? According to you, how am I doing? And then according to God's word, how would you say I'm doing? And so this is a time even to open up your word. If you have it around, I open up your Bible. I know not everybody may not be Christian that's watching, that saw the title and clicked on the video, but I will have to say, regardless of if you're a Christian or non, these are still things to ask your husband or your spouse, because regardless, there are certain things that God gives as responsibility to the wife or to the husband, and regardless of if you are or not, like I said, a Christian, they still align. It still falls back to the same thing. So whether you're Christian or not, this will still help you. Number two, do you feel like you can be yourself with me? A lot of times, even if you're your husband and wife and you say you're in love with the person, some spouses don't like each other, and that's a shame. But they love each other, but they don't like each other. They pick each other apart, and they, regardless of the reasons why they fell in love, they're in this marriage now, and outside circumstances have happened, or inside circumstances are going on, and those certain feelings and different things are kind of waning. So you want to know, do you like the person that I am still? And so give your spouse time to answer that. The things that maybe you used to do some things and you don't do them anymore. Maybe you used to say some things, you don't say them anymore. And you might have become grumpy. You may have, the personality may have kind of waned some. You used to be vibrant and now you're not. So, yeah, just kind of talk about that. And remember, don't get defensive, but be open to what your partner is saying, and try to see the changes that you may need to make, or feel the feelings that they are feeling by the things that they are saying, and go from there. Number three, are you scared or skeptical to say certain things to me? Do you feel like you're walking on eggshells around me? Sometimes a partner know that you might get set off, by something really fast. That's something you don't like, or something bothers you, and they can't be themselves, or they can't express themselves or talk and freely be themselves around you. So you want to make sure that you feel safe with your husband or wife, and not just physically, I mean emotionally. Make sure you feel like you're respected for your intelligence, and you don't feel like the other person's going to say, oh, well, that's silly, or that's stupid, or you shouldn't think like this, and you shouldn't say that. Make sure you are letting your spouse be free to be themselves. Number four, do you feel like I expect too much of you? Nowadays, the lines are kind of blurred on what's expected of a husband or a wife, but we want to align this up with the Bible, of course, and we know that the husband is expected to be the protector and the provider, and that the woman, as instructed by the word, is to be the keeper of the home. So we want to be mindful not to get into, just what we do and don't want personally, saying, well, I'm not going to do this and I don't want to do that. And then we get out of whack, because that actually sometimes leads to disappointment in the other, is because you're not doing your God-given roles. And so a husband has these certain expectations of a wife, and then the wife has certain expectations of a husband, depending on what she expects or what she knows from the word. You want to be mindful not to over expect, though, because if a woman is working, and which a lot of times now they do, where back years ago they did not, but if she is working, unfortunately, she's not going to be able all the time to get a hot dinner on the table, every night, and probably hardly a good 3-4 times a week. She's not going to be able to do the laundry all by herself, take care of the kids, and and then be available in the nighttime, and things like that. So you have to be mindful, depending on your lifestyle, of what's going on in your home, if your expectations are too high. And then vice versa for a woman, if he's oh goodness, if you're over expecting him to be overly talkative, overly emotional with you, not saying that he's not supposed to meet your needs there, he is supposed to meet your needs there, but don't expect him all the time to be your other girlfriend, one of your 5 girlfriends or whatever, and that he's just overly talkative all the time. Now, some men are talkative, and they express their feelings and different things like that, but there are certain things, don't over expect. But be mindful that even though roles are kind of different now, that the word never expires. The word never expires. So the husband is supposed to be the protector and the provider, and the woman is still supposed to be the keeper of the home. So, woman, if you have to get some help outside of the home, or if husband has to help the wife with some things, and the wife is helping the husband bringing, money in, you have to be mindful of all of the things that are swirling around in your home dynamic. Be sensitive, but also you have to be mindful of God's word. Number 5, do you feel respected and or loved? And we know, according to the Bible, that the man is supposed to be respected, or that's what he needs. And then we know that the woman is to be loved, and that's what she needs. But that's not saying that the woman does not also desire respect, or that you shouldn't show her respect. And that doesn't mean that the husband doesn't need love or doesn't want to love. So be mindful of that. Some people are different in what they want. Some men are good with the respect, as long, along with all the other things, and they're not big that you have to love them. But like my husband says, I want love too. I want you to love on me too. So my husband's real expressive, so he wants love too. So you have to be mindful of that other person's needs and desires. But yeah, show love and respect. And we also know that a man is to live according to knowledge with his wife. So study her and see the things that she may need also and go from there. Number 6, am I meeting your needs and then some? So we already know that a man, a husband, has roles to fulfill that God has given him, and there are roles that a wife, the woman, is supposed to fulfill according to what God gives her. But there are needs or wants and desires that either partner has that are just how their makeup is. And those are the 5 love languages. And the 5 love languages are quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and receiving of gifts. So you want to make sure you are fulfilling those desires within your spouse, because a lot of times a wife or a husband will love the other one according to what they need. Say like if I act, and I'll use myself as an example. My love language is words of affirmation. I like to be told I'm doing a good job, or just the more words I hear of whatever, the better I am. And my husband's love language is acts of service. So it's good for me to do things for him, and it's great for him to do things for me, which he does. As a husband he does, but that's not my love language. So if he does certain things for me, say like if he were to, and I don't have babies anymore, but if he changed the baby's diaper and and did things for me, I appreciate it, but it's not filling that love tank or those romantic feelings or whatever it is in me. Mine's is words of affirmation. So his is acts of service. So I need to do things like he loves for me to fix his plate, and some people love that. Some people it doesn't make them any. Never mind. And oh, and I will tell you this. Now this is something kind of acclimated to the African American community, and it's been talked about before, but not everybody knows the reason behind it. A lot of African American men like for their women, their wives, to fix their plate, and the reason for it is that back in the day, and still even now, a black man does not feel respected out in the world. So back in the day, black women started fixing their husbands' plates and doing extra things for them because they didn't get respected out in the world. So one of the things that black women did was they always fixed their plate. They always did extra acts of service for him, or treated him a certain way because he didn't get treated in a good way in the world. So that's a little, word of knowledge for you all. And not a lot of people know that. So make sure that you are filling up your spouse's love tank with their language. Number 7, do you have any jealous feelings? Does my work relationship with Sally or Marcus make you feel some kind of way? Do you feel secure in our relationship and in my love for you and my desire for you? Are you okay? And you want to ask your husband or wife this because nowadays we come in contact with everybody, everywhere, and I mean everywhere. And that can be on the job, that can be at church, it can be on social media, it can be one of the neighbors, and sometimes you can show a little bit too much sometimes towards someone, and it might make your spouse feel, some type of way, although you should not feel bound either by a spouse's jealousy. So it shouldn't be that you can't have, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be like close friends, with the opposite sex. I'm not saying that, but you shouldn't be bound to where you can't give a friendly hug, or that you can't, have a few words and conversation, with the opposite sex. That can be overwhelming for that other spouse. So make sure if there's any feelings of jealousy that they are checked right then and there. Number 8, are you still physically attracted to me? And be ready for the answers. It can be a myriad of things. Sometimes as you've gotten older, things have changed physically, emotionally, and different things like that. So if your spouse expresses that certain things are bothersome to them, this is one of those areas not to get defensive in. because they're just expressing their true feelings, and they should be open to saying what they feel, and you need to be open to receive what they say. Uh, a lot of times, like I said, as we get older, things change, and it just might not be appealing to that spouse. Some things cannot be helped, some things can, and that it doesn't even come with age all the time. Sometimes it's in our earlier years, and we just don't keep ourselves up after we get busy with certain things. So make sure that you're asking your spouse, is there something that's undesirable about you? Do you hate when I come home? If you're a stay-at-home mom, ask your husband, do you hate when you come home and my hair is everywhere, or I don't look like I've kept myself up, or I haven't gotten into any decent clothes, I just have on workout clothes all the time? And for the husband, sometimes men don't keep up with their appearances either, or their weight, and the wife may not, in the same manner. Sometimes the husband may, it's kind of a double standard. Sometimes the husband wants the wife to look on point, and he's not taking care of his appearance. So make sure that you're listening to one another, and that you're being sensitive to the other person's desires and wants. Number 9, yes, sex. Make sure that husbands, you're still fulfilling your wife's needs. More women are romantic. They need that, in the beginning, just kind of set the mood. Some romance, or either some women like acts of service as foreplay or whatever. But make sure whatever she needs to get there, that you're doing that for her. And women, make sure you're still tickling his fancy. Make sure you're still appealing to him visually, and appealing to him just with what he needs. And remember, the word says the marriage bed is undefiled. And as I understand, as long as those two, that husband and that wife, consent on what they want to do, then as I understand, it's fine, to do in that marriage bed. So you have to decide what's good for you, what's not, what you hate to say, what you're not going to do, because you're supposed to fulfill your mate's desires. So, but there are some things that some people just don't give on, and others do, others don't. So you have to come together and reason on what you're going to give and what you want to receive of the other, and you have to compromise in that area. But you should want to make your spouse happy. And so, yeah, sex is very important. It's important not to withhold sex in a marriage. That can be the beginning of a downward spiral. So make sure that you are both happy in that area, and that you talk and decide, what will make you both happy, and you want to keep the lines of communication open in that area. Number 10, ask your spouse overall, what changes would you like to see me make? And like I said, don't get defensive, don't be offended, and just listen to your spouse. It's important through all of these questions to listen to your spouse. All right, so that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you will do that. I would say give a check-in good every 6 months. Some people may want to do it once every 3 months. That might be a little too much. I think once every 6 months is good. And like I said, if you just have a little date night at home, get a little music going, do a little puzzle or some kind of activity together, and get some, finger foods, and, you just talk about those things, that would help a lot of marriages out. Open those lines of communication. All right, love you all. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. Also, if you liked it, please share it. Share this video. And guys, I will see you next time right back here on Tracie's Place. Oh, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Click that notification bell. That way when I upload a video, you will be notified. All right, be blessed. See you guys next time right back here on Tracie's Place. Bye.